Hello everybody, wonderful to see you back again, and today I have a wonderful guest for our series of interviews. Her name is Linda Attram, and Linda, you're welcome with this series of interviews. Wonderful to see you.
Thank you for having me, Moses.
You're welcome. And just a quick brief story of how I met Linda. I met Linda in an event organized by Success Resources, and her husband, Mark Attram, was on the stage. And after 3 days of a wonderful seminar of how to create passive income and how to take your business to another level, he just called on stage and he said, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for my wife and for my family. So he just made a surprise. You were not even aware of it, and he called you with your wonderful three kids at that time. Now I think they're even bigger than me. And yeah, you came on stage, and it was kind of a wonderful emotional moment on stage, and it was it was right here in London. It was about 4 years ago. So I had this connection through Mark. By the way, Mark always tells me, when are you coming to my event? And I always tell him I'm gonna plan, because we are both of us quite so busy.
Yes.
Yeah, so in this series of interviews, I'm gonna add so much value in our community, so much value for all the people who would like to get into business or are already in business. And but I'm gonna stop talking right now, so just bear with me, and I'll just leave the word to Linda. And first of all, I would like to ask, who is Linda Attram? And by the way, what are you doing in business? What business are you really in, Linda?
Right, okay, well there's a number of questions there, so I'll pick them off one by one.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is Linda? I am a mother of 3 beautiful children. I'm also an entrepreneur, and I have a successful property business that I run with my husband, Mac. We've been in business for over 20 years, running our property business. But the business that I've recently created is called Inspiring Mothers in Business.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, so I basically have a real passion for inspiring mothers and empowering them, because as a mother myself and also a businesswoman of over 20 years, I understand what the real challenges are for mothers. I've been through it, and I've got the t-shirt, and I know how lonely it can be. And when I was having my children when they were much younger, I would have valued an external support system outside of my family, and that's why I've created Inspiring Mothers in Business, to bridge that gap, because there are millions of mothers around the UK, around the world, that feel that they are being de-skilled because they're staying at home. They don't want to go back to work because they want to spend time with their children. They want to spend that quality time with their children, because kids don't remain kids for very long. And we have to create those magical memories with them. And if we're not there to see those magical memories, then we often have feelings of guilt.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes. And so for me, it's important for me to share my voice and also share my knowledge in terms of how I overcome those challenges, and share those with other mothers, so that I can help support, empower and inspire them as well.
Oh, okay. You spoke about overcome challenges, and this brings me my next question, which is, what was the greatest obstacle you faced as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a business partner, and as a wife? I mean, and how did you overcome it?
Another huge question.
Yeah, we don't go with simple questions. Our audience is an audience that is an audience of quality.
Okay, so the biggest challenge for me was the feeling of guilt. The guilt of, am I spending far too much time on my business and not enough time with my children? Because I want to leave a fantastic legacy for my children. I want to ensure that if my girls decide they want to be mothers when they're older, that it is possible to be a mum and a businesswoman at the same time. I want, if my son chooses to get married when he's older, to know that it's okay if his wife wants to be a mum and a businesswoman at the same time. And so for me, building that legacy for my children meant a lot of sacrifices, a lot of hard work. There'd be times where, I'll be like, oh, let me just get this last email out. and then I'll put them to bed and I'll give them a cuddle and I'll do their bedtime story. But then one thing leads to another, and then I've missed it, and I go upstairs and they're fast asleep, and I feel really guilty for that. And what I've experienced is not just for me. I know that there are millions of mothers that have that same level of guilt as well. But also, coupled with that, I also went through a period of where I felt I was losing my identity, because I was constantly being called mum. And, you know, it's lovely being a mum, and I love my kids to bits. But, you know, for however many years, I'm not going to give away my age, however many years I was called...
I thought you were 25.
Well, thank you. I was called Linda. You know, Linda, you know, Mrs. Attram or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't being called Linda as often, and I felt like my identity was being stripped away from me, because I was either mum, or I was Tiana's mum, Brandon's mum, Jess's mum, Mac's wife, and where was Linda? And I really did struggle with that in the early years. And so by struggling with that identity issue, it also brought on even more guilt for me, thinking, well, actually, I'm a mum. Should I be feeling that guilty? You know, is that right? Is that wrong? And for me, it was just an issue that I felt I had for myself, not realising that it's quite common with other mothers. And again, it's about bridging that gap and allowing mothers to have that space to talk about their challenges and to acknowledge them and know that they're not on their own, and giving them supportive tools by me inspiring and empowering them to know it's okay not to be okay, and that, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
It's okay not to be okay.
That's right.
That's really great.
Yes.
So out of all this experience and all the journey you've had with 3 kids, successful property business, and now you have this new project, what do you want to create with this? I mean, what is your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is to inspire and empower women around the world. I want to have a platform where mothers can feel comfortable in a safe environment, that they can talk about their experiences, but not just their challenges, but also their successes as well. Because as women, you know, we are powerful human beings, and we often don't recognise how powerful we are. We tend to care a lot for others, don't care a lot for ourselves, don't take the time out to actually sit down and think, wow, I've actually achieved all of these different things. And also, you know, whatever we do, you know, that saying like mother like child or mother like daughter or whatever, you know, whatever we do reflects on our children. So if we inspire ourselves to do better, to have more, to achieve more, we're then instilling that into our children. So I want to create an environment where mothers feel comfortable to do that, so that they have a ripple effect on their children, leave a magnificent legacy, but also for legacies for, you know, for years to come.
That's great, that's great. I like the way you explain it, because now I have complete clarity, and it's a wonderful idea. And are you planning to organize an event about this?
Yes, we are. We have an event that's coming up on Saturday, the 11th of May. And
11th of May. So just remember on your calendar, Saturday, 11th May.
Yep, Saturday, the 11th of May. And it's going to be held at the Holiday Inn in Heathrow. It's an all-day programme from 9 to 5. Now, the purpose of it having it as an all-day programme is so that mothers can be themselves for a whole complete day.
Wow.
They're going to be themselves in their own zone. There's nobody going to be pulling at their strings. Mama want a cup of tea, Mama want my dinner, Mama want my lunch, whatever. It's just going to be purely focused on them. We have an array of wonderful speakers that are all mothers. They're all inspirational. They're all mothers as well as businesswomen as well. So they're going to be sharing their stories. We're going to give these ladies the opportunity to be themselves for a day. We're going to be looking at them in terms of the beauty inside of them to the beauty outside of them. We're also going to be talking about their health and energy and vitality, how they can improve those areas in their life. But more importantly, they'll have that open, secure space to talk about those challenges that they often think that, you know, it's just me that's going through this. But they're going to find that they're going to be around like-minded mothers that will
great.
share those experiences as well.
That's great. And you previously said that this has been a journey of 20 years. It hasn't been just something that just came overnight. If you could define a specific moment where you can relate to and say, oh, it was after this that I realized I could do this, or what is that? I mean, what could be that specific moment? Or did you have a coach, a mentor? Did you attend a seminar? I mean, personally in my life, Tony Robbins has been a great influence in my life. Our audience, Tony Robbins has been a huge influence. Is there any specific moment? Because I know you have attended so many events of Tony. Did this touch your life?
Yes, and talking about Tony Robbins, he is the person that did touch my life immensely. I first went to his event 17 years ago.
Wow.
To the UPW, and I've been back 3 times now, because every time I go, my growth just, expediates. And so when I first went 17 years ago with my husband Mac, that's, following from there, that's when we really hyped up our property business. We started buying 1 property a month from there.
Wow.
Because we realised that,
1 property a month.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So it's possible.
It's absolutely possible, and it was through the teachings that we learned from Tony in terms of our own self-belief and, eliminating our unlimited beliefs as well, that we were able to progress forward. So I recently attended again about 4 years ago, and then a couple of weeks ago when he was back in London, and I've achieved so much since that last time that I went there a couple of weeks ago. My confidence has grown. I'm doing much more things, in terms of interviews like this, and I'm just ready to rock and roll and share my gifts and share my voice with the world.
That's
and
great.
Inspire and empower.
That's great.
others.
As Tony says, I can see a couple of values, which is growth and contribution as you're talking. And Tony has been a great, wonderful source of inspiration for all of us. Now, just to close it up, I really want to thank you for to have shared all your experience in just a really short time. And could you just remind to our audience, when is your event, the location, and go ahead.
Okay. The event is taking place this Saturday, next Saturday, the 11th of May. That's Saturday, the 11th of May, at the Holiday Inn in Heathrow. And tickets are available on Eventbrite. We have a special offer at the moment. The prices are £29.90, but if you're really, really quick, you can get a discounted price of £17.99. And click onto Eventbrite and you will find the tickets available there. Now, it's for all mothers who are in business or who are thinking about getting into business, or even if you're a mother that's working in the corporate world, but you feel like you want to do something different, you want to be inspired, you want to be empowered, you want to be around other like-minded mothers. It's going to be an absolutely fabulous event, and I encourage all of you mothers out there to come along. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Linda, for this time you dedicated with us. And folks, we love you, we bless you, and we wish you an outstanding rest of the day. Live your life with passion. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.